Hi everybody, it's Kateri, and I want to talk to you guys today about something that I call pre-controlling. I have been doing it for years. Pre-controlling is when you get control of the natural or unnatural underlying pigment of the hair before highlighting. It can be done on any level, from 1 all the way to 10, but for me and my clientele base, I have a lot of clients that are levels 1 through 5. And at those levels, 1 through 5, we've got a lot of underlying pigment in those levels that need to be broken down. And for my clientele, using just a regular ash isn't enough to cut the warmth at those levels. So I found that controlling them before I highlight, instead of having to take that extra step to break it up before my final toning process, has just become something that is standard and very important for my clientele. When I pre-control, I always use a demi-permanent. I'll use Color Sync or I will use So Color Cult, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But pre-controlling is ruled by the color wheel and knowing what your natural underlying pigment is. For natural clients, I have a friend. For natural clients, finding what level your client is at, like we always do, and then knowing where they fall in the underlying pigment part of the chart makes it really super easy to figure out what on the color chart falls across from that, whether you're going to use a blue base or you're going to use a green or possibly even a turquoise base, because you need to break down both sides of that spectrum if they fall into that red-orange category. Now, when you are working with unnatural underlying pigment, that's where it gets a little, especially box color. And we might be seeing a little bit of box color coming into our salons once all of this fun stuff is over with. But with my previously colored or box colored clients, I do what I call the 20-20. It's light master with 20 volume for 20 minutes. And I let it sit on that strand so that it kind of breaks up those molecules, gets those colors moving and rises them to the surface and lightens it up just enough to where I can get a gauge on where and what I need to use on the color wheel to control the color that I see on that strand. That's where So Color Cult comes in. My clients know I'm a little crazy, and when I bust out a turquoise or a green box, they know to trust that the process is going to work out in the end. But I will use So Color Cult, and I'll dilute it with a clear just to reduce the intensity to where I need it, apply that from scalp to ends, and then proceed from there, cleansing, blow drying, and then doing my highlighting service. So Color Cult for me finishes the color wheel. We now have those in-between colors that we can use to neutralize those really, really actual color correction situations to create that nice foundation so that we can proceed from there and take that client to the next level a little easier. So with that, we also have in our Color Sync line our wonderful 5-minute fast toner in the anti-red. I love that. One of my absolute favorites. But some of the other crazy things that I like to do, I will take our watercolors, Sapphire Blue, and our Sheer Bronze, and I will mix those together to form a shade of green, depending on where I need it to be. More blue, more yellow, whatever my mixture is needed for that particular client. Love that and how that turns out. I also, back in the day, loved our moss green. I need to get that back. But having that green base in your color portfolio for these types of neutralization products is just one of those things that over the years and with my clientele I have found is absolutely wonderful in cutting that underlying pigment just a little bit more when you're performing your highlighting services. Thanks for listening. Be safe and stay healthy, guys. Love y'all.